In this video, we will be covering the first step in proactive controls. Um, the first concept of proactive control. The first concept being security requirements and verifying your security of your application or program during your development process. Um, certain or in organizations, security testing is done outside of the development testing loops. So what that means is when you're finished with the project, hello, when you're finished with a project, right? Let's call this the project. They send it over to the security team, SEC. That security team then uses their scanners, their scanning tools, or conducts a test, a pen test, and then they get those results. Get those results. Sends them back to the development team, which then does it, and then does the changes for the project after the whole project is done. A better way is just testing it during your development process. So another way to do this would be, another way that organizations or programming teams, development teams do it is that they have those sprints. They have their total project in mind, right? They have a total project in mind, but then they split that up into little small projects. And as the development team finish one project, they send that project to the security team, SEC. The security team will then take that project, run their test, manual testing or automated testing, send that back to the dev, which will then change. They will create another story to change it, send that back, etc., etc. That way, instead of having a whole list of different vulnerabilities or things that they need to fix at the end of the project, they, after each section or each story, or in other words, like each sprint, they can just fix the problems in those sprints, fix the problems there, and then send it back to security team, make sure that all the vulnerabilities are fixed. Another way to think of it as like an end user would be if you think of it in a development sense, you would have the first sprint would be like username, and then password. Okay, how long can this password be? Right, 1,000 characters. But what also works is making sure that you don't have a default. No, you don't have a default. Default username or password, such as like admin and password, things like that. Things that can override certain aspects of your program to access like a lot of the backend. Another helpful way to think of it is that you have different users. So you have the so you have an user. You have an end user. Say call this end. You have a system add, and then you have the let's say that's the system's add. Let's do data. Let's just do like a database admin data, right? So the end user can only access certain portions of the program. Right, but the system admin can access your database and the application program. But this system admin doesn't have access to certain data, such as, let's call it, instead of calling this data, let's call this payment.